Okay, so I use OneNote for conferring to keep my conference notes, and I am really liking it a lot. I've been using it for about 3 weeks, but I set it up before the school year, so I want to show you how to set it up. First of all, you have to set up OneNote with the computer version, not the online version. And if you can't see it on your screen, you need to go into your Rocket and scroll until you see the purple little OneNote, and you can click on that. And if you want to add it to your doc, you just drag it down and add it to your doc. Mine's already there. I'll put that back where it was. Okay, so when I open OneNote, it takes a little bit. OneNote is also good for having student notebooks also. To create a notebook, I go to File, New Notebook. Okay, and you can choose whatever color you want. I had a hard time figuring out how to create a notebook because I didn't have a OneDrive for North Kansas City. You do have to have a OneDrive for North Kansas City in order to make a class notebook. If you're only storing it on your computer, I'm pretty sure you can just keep storing it on your computer. But if you want to be able to access it when you're at home, you need to have a OneDrive, and you get that through the App Store, and it will prompt you when you go through here and say where you want it. It'll prompt you. So I'm going to name this PD or example. I'll name it Example Conferring Notebook. Okay, and I got it right. I'm going to name it, put it bright blue because I don't have one that's color. And then you click Create. Okay, so you've got a blank notebook. This is the side where I add students, but don't add them yet. I'm going to call this section by using 2 fingers to click on it and rename. So a 2-finger mouse click, rename. It highlights, and I can put conferring. You can have as many sections as you want. You just press the plus button. Okay, to take it away, 2 fingers. Maybe that's not the way you take it away. Well, anyway, let's go back to conferring. So what I usually do is I name the first one template right there. Okay, I already have a template. You probably don't, but you can also ask me for mine. One way to set it up is to insert a table, and I would suggest 6 to start with, and you can make it as long as you want. Play with it that way. Don't want it quite that long. So I'm going to scroll over here and make it smaller. Okay, hold on. Can't make it smaller. So I'm just going to delete it and start again. That's part of technology. Making it 6, and I'm going to instead make these longer because that's what it wanted me to do. Different programs respond differently. You just got to pay attention. There we go. So Matt Glover has 3 parts to his workshop. He likes to know their positives. He likes to know possible teaching points. And he likes to know the actual focus or teaching point that you choose. Okay? And I have other notes. Now I'm going to flip over to another notebook and show you what I'm going to drag and pull in because I like mine that I have already better. And it's easier, and I will send it to you if you want me to send it to you. So I'm going to go to my file and open a notebook. These are all my conferring notebooks. And you can see at the top I already have one. The date, the strength, possible teaching points. So I'm just going to copy that one. Or Command C. And then I'm going to go back and open my other one. You can only have one open at a time, I guess. And this one is called Example notebook. And I'm just going to put this one in. There, it's there. Now I don't have to worry about it. I've got my notebook already there because you can see I've got my notes set up. Now the next part of my notebook that I want to show you is that I did something because I already know what my units of study are going to be. So I'm going to open up another notebook again just to show you. Hope I'm not confusing you. Because if the work's already done, you might as well use it. And you can see here I've got my units for the year already set up. And I'll tell you what those mean later. I think this is another way to open it, by the way. I have a template somewhere. I just have to look. I do, right here. I don't. It's gone. That's okay. I'll make a template later. So for right now, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Just that first part. He's got the least on his right now. Go back to my example conferring notebook and edit, paste it in. That's not the right one. Sorry. Don't name your notebooks the same thing because it will just hold on to it. There you go. So my first unit of study is non-genre specific. I start at the bottom because I want my newest notes to be at the top. So since this is my first set of notes, if I were to take notes tomorrow, I would add my date in, then I hit enter, and then I go back here and I just hit 5 spaces. I turn off my bold and I can start typing notes. And if I were looking at this student and they had their punctuation was well done, you can see I did date, I met strengths. Punctuation, I want at least 3. They had dialogue in their story. They had great caps also. And I can add more, voice, whatever. And then I do dashes to show I'm going to the next section, which would be possible teaching points. And maybe they had dialogue, but they don't have dialogue rules. And I can be generic and say rules, or I could say dialogue paragraphing. I could say they need to look at paragraphing in general. Whatever I find that there is a possible thing that I could teach them, convention, planning, or composition, I put in here, and then I put my dashes, and then I hit bold and underline, and I choose my teaching point, and I'm going to choose dialogue rules, and then I go off on teach. And looking through my line, I know the teaching point, what they do well, the teaching points, and what it is I'm going to teach or use a mentor text with my students in for dialogue rules. And I'd get a narrative and show them how authors dialogue. Okay? So that's one way to do it. The other thing that I do, when you've got your template set up, you should probably save your template and leave it template and add a page. And for each student, however you want to put them in, first name only, first and last initial, you add a page. And you just keep adding pages till you've got all your students. And you can do it one of 2 ways. You can go back to your template and just highlight everything and copy, go over and paste. I'll put that in there actually. Like that. Or you could take your template, put 2 fingers on it, make a copy, and then add a page and paste. The other thing you're doing, if you have more than one notebook set up, you could take this and you copy section 2, and then you can choose any notebook you want. So in theory, I could have gone back to one of my notebooks that I already have, say the student is moving classes, and I can copy this section 2. It'll be at the bottom. Latest is at the bottom. Click copy, and now when I go to my example conferring notebook, I have conferring 2, and in conferring 2 is that whole class right over there. So you can copy and paste that way too. I'm going to take it away. There, it worked. Deleting. Yes, I want to delete that section. Yes, I want to delete that section. Now I'm back to my conferring section. Okay, the other thing that I do when I'm working with my students, if I know I need to meet with them, I put my cursor right on the line, I put an M, or you could put the word meet also, and it'll show up in their title, so I know I need to meet with Joe. How I keep track of whether I've met with them, each day is a different symbol. So there was Monday, there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday. So I would look and say, oh, I've met with Joe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I should probably meet with Sandy, who I haven't met with at all. And I'm going to stop right there because I know that's a lot of information to digest. You can stop and rewind and play this video all you want. And if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Thanks.